Fahreddin Pasha, nicknamed the Desert Tiger, is an important figure in Turkish history. Fahreddin Pasha's defense of Medina became one of the important moments in history. In 1914, before the Ottoman Turkish troops were mobilized, Staff Colonel Omar Fahreddin was appointed commander of the XII Corps serving in Mosul, Iraq. He was promoted to the rank of Mirliva on November 12, 1914, and appointed deputy commander of Army 4 in Aleppo, Syria. During World War I, Fahreddin was transferred to Medina on May 23, 1916, and was tasked with defending the city of the Prophet. In fact, he was appointed commander of the Hijaz Special Forces in 1916 to carry out this important mission. After the governor of Makkah Sharif Hussein bin Ali prepared to launch a rebellion against the Ottoman Turks, Fahreddin was assigned to Medina. Fahreddin arrived in Medina before the rebels, and immediately took security measures. Fahreddin not only defended Medina, but also secured single-rail transportation on the Hijaz network from the sabotage of Tay Lawrence and Crf Hussein. This rail network is access for all logistical supplies for Fahreddin and his troops. Crf Hussein destroyed the train lines and telegraph network around Medina on June 3, 1916. Even though Crf Hussein launched an attack outside Medina on 5 to 6 June 1916, Fahreddin put his full force on alert. When Fahreddin served in Medina, the first thing he did was move the relics of the Prophet and his companions along with several manuscripts from Medina to Istanbul so that they were safe from attack. Some of the historical manuscripts in Medina have been transferred by the Ottoman Turkish government to various libraries in Medina. About 500 manuscripts are currently in the Medina Library at Topkapi Palace, Istanbul. When Mecca was surrounded by rebel strongholds, cities outside Medina were also quickly captured. Medina finally succeeded in being surrounded by Crf Hussein's camp, after controlling Mudawara station, which was on the Hijaz route near Mecca. Ottoman Turkish soldiers continued to attempt a number of attacks, including 130 major attacks in 1917 and an attack of more than 300 bombs on April 30, 1918. Fahreddin Pasha stated that he had a dream of meeting Rasulullah. Rasulullah ordered him not to give up. In August 1918, Fahreddin received a letter of surrender from Crf Hussein. He also replied to the letter, after conveying who he was and conveying praise to Allah and the Messenger of Allah. He told about his dream of meeting the Prophet. To those who had weakened Islam by siding with the enemy, shedding the blood of fellow Muslims, and disobeying the Caliph's orders that he would not surrender, Fahreddin instead stated that he was busy strengthening his defenses so that threats would not work. "Now, I am under the protection of Rasulullah, the supreme commander of the Muslim community," wrote Pasha. Meanwhile, the Ottoman Turkish dynasty, which withdrew during World War I, signed the Mudros Armistice Statement on October 30, 1918. Based on this agreement, Medina had to be released from the hands of the Ottoman Turks. Many thought that Fahreddin would also surrender, but he did not do that and refused to accept the ceasefire agreement. Defended Medina for 72 days, after the Mudros Armistice Statement was signed, and did not surrender. He refused to lay down his arms, even though he had been ordered by the Ottoman Turkish leader. Annoyed by Fahreddin's attitude, the Ottoman Turkish government, which was then led by Sultan Mehmed VI, withdrew him from Medina. Again, Fahreddin refused and continued to fly the flag of the Ottoman Turkish dynasty in Medina. After the Mudros Armistice Agreement, the nearest Ottoman military unit to Medina was 1,300 kilometers away. Fahreddin was subdued by men in his army, and taken to Abdullah on January 9, 1919 at Bir Darwish. Abdullah entered Medina not long after Fahreddin was forcibly detained. Ali Najib followed, entering Medina on the 2nd of February 1919. Istanbul then withdrew him from Medina, and sent Colonel Ali Najib to replace him, who then held negotiations for the surrender of Medina. The British and Arabs themselves put forward conditions in the negotiations, namely the handover of Fahreddin to their side. Ali Najib agreed to that. Ali Najib and several figures tried to meet Fahreddin, who still did not want to give up, at a place near the Prophet's grave. At that time, Fahreddin thought he would be asked nicely. It turned out that Ali Najib and his people actually threw ashes on Fahreddin's face, tied him up and handed him over to the British on January 10, 1919. Fahreddin said that this incident was the most painful moment in his life. Before the siege of Medina took place, the Istanbul government asked Fahreddin to evacuate himself from Medina. However, Fahreddin refused the order. He did not want to lower the Turkish flag from Medina with his hands. During the siege of Medina, Fahreddin prayed continuously around the tomb of Rasulullah. He was often heard saying, "Rise, rise, rise Rasulullah. Witness those who believe and fight for you. Convey all his help to us." In the spring of April 2, 1918, after prayers at Nabawi Mosque carrying a Turkish flag, Fahreddin climbed onto the pulpit and turned his face towards the grave of the Prophet. He shouted loudly, "O Messenger of Allah, I will never leave you." Then he conveyed instructions to the congregation. To his troops he ordered that the tomb of the Prophet in Medina be defended to the last drop of blood. He also asked for Allah's help, and hoped that the spirit of the Messenger of Allah would accompany him and his troops. He even asked his troops to swear to defend Medina.